Okay, so number 5, Mark's favorite football team lost yards on 2 back-to-back plays. They lost 3 yards on the first, and then they lost 1 yard on the second play. We're going to write an inequality statement using the integers to compare the forward progress made on each play. Well, if we are talking about a loss of yards, that would represent a negative number. So we are comparing the numbers -3 and -1. And so we're writing an inequality. Well, -3 is further to the left on our number line. It's farther away from 0, so it is smaller. So -3 is less than -1. Or you could write -1 is greater than -3. So we could order it either way. Number 6, Sierra had to pay the school for 2 textbooks that she lost. One textbook cost $55 and the other cost $75. Her mother wrote 2 separate checks for each expense. We want to write 2 integers that represent the change to her mother's checking account balance. Then we're going to write an inequality statement that shows the relationship between the 2. Okay, the important part is seeing that it says represent the change to her mother's bank account balance. So if we're talking about paying for something, our bank account would be going down. So that means we are representing these with negative numbers. So we are comparing -55 to -75. Well, if we think about it, -55 is further on the right on our number line than -75 because it's closer to 0. So that means -55 is greater than -75. Or you could write it as -75 is less than -55. Either way will do. All right, number 7. So Jason ordered the numbers -70, -18, and -18.5 from least to greatest by writing the following statement. Is this a true statement? And we want to explain. Well, let's think about this. Notice that it has the bigger side with the -70. So it's saying that -70 is greater than -18.5. But if we look on our number line, -70 is further to the left on our number line. So that means that it's actually smaller. So these are flip-flopped. So it should read that -70 is less than -18.5, which is less than -18. So that's how we could correct his statement. And so you can explain that by saying -70 is farther to the left than -18.5 and -18. And so you could also do the same thing, just reversing that -18 is closer to 0 or it's further to the right. So it is the bigger number. All right, and then number 8, you just had to write a real world situation that is represented by the following inequality. -19 is less than 40. And so you then would explain the position on the number line. You could think about it this way, that a football team lost 19 yards on a play, but then on the next yard they gained 40 yards on a play. You could talk about it with money. You spent $19 on something, but then you earned $40 for mowing lawns. You could talk about it in terms of temperature. There's lots of different ways you could talk about it. And then if you were to graph it on a number line, I'm going to put 0 right here, and I'm going to count by tens. And so -19 is going to be really close to 20 right here, and then +40 is over here on the right. And so that's how it would look on a number line. And like I said, your real world situation could vary, so it just depends on what you came up with.